If you put a coin into a vending machine, press a button.
And the coil turns.
Yeah, right? You watch your snack drop. It's a direct, observable cause and effect. It's super satisfying because it's absolutely certain.
Oh, for sure. You know what you're getting.
Exactly. But then you start putting thousands of dollars into digital marketing, and suddenly you press the button and, well, nothing happens.
Or, maybe something happens, but the mechanism is entirely hidden.
Yes. It's like, where did that dollar actually go?
Right into the void.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So, welcome to today's deep dive. Today, we are taking a sledgehammer to that exact black box.
I love that. It's about time.
Yeah. So our sources today, we've got a really interesting company dossier from a Los Angeles-based agency called AdExpert. And we're looking at that alongside a comprehensive 2026 guide by their founder, Sam Ashrafi, which is titled How to Audit Your Entire Digital Marketing Strategy.
It's a great read. Really foundational stuff.
It is. So our mission today is to unpack all of this and figure out how to track exactly what happens after you press that digital marketing button.
Yeah, because, that black box mentality, it's so pervasive right now because digital marketing has evolved from like a simple billboard strategy into this highly complex algorithmic ecosystem.
Right. It's not just put an ad in the paper anymore.
Exactly. You are no longer just buying space. You're buying data, you're buying targeting, and this is the big one, behavioral prediction.
Wow, behavioral prediction.
Yeah, and Sam Ashrafi's guide is essentially a blueprint for a forensic audit of all that.
Yeah.
It's about moving away from operating on sheer faith.
Which is terrifying when it's your own money.
Totally. It's transitioning into a fully transparent, data-driven methodology that actually identifies pipeline leaks before they drain your entire budget.
Okay, let's unpack this, because we are looking at a team with over a decade of experience here. AdExpert builds tailored strategies specifically in hyper-competitive local markets.
Oh yeah, the LA market is brutal.
Yeah, the dossier highlights their work in the wider LA area. Places like Woodland Hills, Calabasas, Encino, Sherman Oaks.
And local search is just a completely different battlefield than, say, global e-commerce.
How so?
Well, you are fighting for geographic proximity signals.
Right.
And incredibly specific local intent.
Right. But what I found fascinating is that before AdExpert's team, including their SEO expert, Ehsan Nabavadi, before they even touch a local search algorithm, step one of their audit process is just brutal in its simplicity.
Oh, the questions they ask.
Yes. They literally just sit down and ask, are we getting enough leads? Are visitors actually becoming customers? Are our marketing efforts tangibly helping sales?
It sounds elementary, right?
It really does, which is why I have to ask, why skip this?
So,
why do so many businesses need an agency to ask them if they're getting leads?
Well, the reality of modern marketing teams is that they often optimize for the wrong metrics.
Like
vanity metrics. AdExpert anchors the entire audit process around actual revenue because it is so easy for businesses to fall prey to the dopamine hit of engagement.
Oh, like getting a viral video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine a brand posts this stylized high production video, right? It nets 50,000 views and a few thousand likes.
The marketing department is probably popping champagne.
Oh, they're thrilled.
Yeah.
The algorithms reward that piece of content with more reach, and everybody feels great. But vanity metrics are it's like feeding a compass a magnet.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right. You're getting a very strong reading, but it is pointing you straight off a cliff.
Because it doesn't translate to money.
Exactly. If those 50,000 views generated 0 booked appointments and 0 closed sales, well, that wasn't a marketing campaign.
What was it then?
It was an unmonetized entertainment venture.
Wow. An unmonetized entertainment venture. So the algorithm's definition of success is actively conflicting with the business's definition of success.
That's the core issue. The platform wants engagement to keep users scrolling, but the business needs conversions to keep the lights on.
So if you're launching campaigns without clear goals, it's like driving a race car with a GPS, but you refuse to ever look at the screen. You're moving incredibly fast, but you have no idea if you're heading toward the finish line.
That tension is exactly why an audit has to ruthlessly strip away the engagement data initially. You have to isolate the raw pipeline metrics.
Just look at the actual sales.
Yeah. The AdExpert philosophy relies heavily on blending historical performance data with competitor analysis to basically establish a baseline.
Gotcha.
Because if you don't anchor your audit in hard growth goals, your team will spend 80% of their time tweaking content that only serves the platform, not the company.
You have to establish the destination before you evaluate the vehicle.
Perfectly said.
Which brings us to the destination itself. Let's say you've aligned your goals. You know you need leads, you run the campaign, you finally get the click.
The holy grail, the click.
Right. And now the user is heading to your digital storefront, the website. And this is where so many campaigns just bleed money.
Oh, absolutely hemorrhage budget.
Ashrafafi's guide insists that auditing the website isn't just some passive check to see if the server is online. You are auditing for friction.
Friction is the silent killer of conversion rates.
Walk me through that.
Well, when a user clicks an ad, they're operating on this microscopic reserve of intent.
Like they have zero patience.
Zero. If your mobile page takes 4 seconds to load, or, the layout shifts awkwardly as they try to click a button, that intent evaporates.
And they're gone.
They hit the back button. And the tragic part is that your marketing targeting worked perfectly.
The ad did its job.
Yes. But the structural foundation failed. You paid for the click, but the friction killed the sale. That is why mobile design, page speed, and internal architecture sit at the very top of their technical audit.
It's the equivalent of spending a fortune on a massive billboard for a retail store. But then when the customer actually arrives, the front door is jammed and the interior lights are flickering.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like to the user.
It doesn't matter if your inventory is pristine and priced perfectly. The environmental friction triggers this subconscious lack of trust, and they just walk out.
And here's the thing. The search engines understand that psychological friction, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Google essentially uses behavioral signals, like how quickly users bounce off your site, to grade your overall technical health.
Oh, wow. So they're watching the bounces?
Exactly. But it goes much deeper than just load speeds.
Right.
Ashrafi's guide puts a massive emphasis on auditing for content quality and domain authority.
Right.
And he specifically calls out the necessity of updating old pages.
Wait, I need to pause on that.
Sure.
Because if I have like a blog post from 2022 about industry trends and it's buried way back in the archives, why does Google care?
They care a lot.
But is going back and tweaking a 3-year-old article actually going to move the needle for my current sales, or is that just an SEO vanity project?
It directly impacts your current sales. It's because of a mechanism called crawl budget and this concept of content rot.
Content rot? That sounds gross.
It is for your rankings. See, Google does not grade your individual web pages in a total vacuum. It assigns a sort of holistic reputation score domain authority to your entire ecosystem.
Okay, the whole site gets a grade.
Right. And search engine bots have a limited amount of time and resources to crawl the web.
That's the crawl budget.
Exactly. So if they crawl your site and consistently hit dead ends, broken links, or, information that hasn't been touched in 3 years, they categorize your site as stagnant.
So the algorithm essentially decides your business is gathering dust, and it stops sending traffic to the new stuff.
Precisely. Stale content acts as an anchor. It literally drags down the authority of your freshly published pages.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. But by systematically auditing and refreshing old content like updating statistics to 2026 numbers, repairing broken outbound links, adding new insights, you are signaling vitality to the crawler.
We're saying, hey, we're alive, we're active.
Yes. You maximize your crawl budget. That vitality builds trust, and trust elevates the ranking of every single page on the domain. You aren't just updating an old post, you are raising the foundational floor of your entire website.
Okay, that makes the mechanics of SEO feel much more tangible.
It really is.
And the dossier mentions that AdExpert's SEO specialist, Ehsan Nabavadi, drives a very specific approach to how this content is written.
Right, moving away from the old school tactics.
Yeah, using data-driven copywriting to hit Google's latest algorithmic requirements. The dossier specifically talks about using semantic keywords and high search phrases to increase relevancy.
That's crucial nowadays.
But I want to ask, anyone who's run a website knows about keywords. But how are semantic keywords fundamentally altering local audits in a market like Los Angeles?
Well, the shift is from literal matching to entity-based salience.
Entity-based salience. Okay, break that down for me.
So 10 years ago, if a business wanted to rank for a specific service in, say, Calabasas, the audit would simply count how many times the phrase Calabasas digital marketing appeared on the page.
Oh, right. Just keyword stuffing.
Exactly. It was a crude mathematical threshold. But today, Google's natural language processing models actually understand entities and context. The algorithm evaluates semantic relevance.
So it's looking for the natural vocabulary of an expert?
Exactly. It is looking for the topical neighborhood.
The topical neighborhood. I like that.
If you claim to be an authority on Los Angeles digital marketing, the algorithm expects to see a natural constellation of related concepts.
Things like what?
Like conversion rate optimization, local map pack dynamics, bounce rates, localized search intent, all of that. AdExpert's data-driven audit analyzes your copy to see if it possesses that deep contextual web of terminology. If your copy is too thin or relies on outdated keyword stuffing, the algorithm recognizes it as, well, shallow manipulation rather than genuine expertise.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's say you do all that. You have this incredibly fast, highly authoritative website. Google loves your semantic relevance.
Your topical neighborhood is thriving.
Exactly. Your old content is fresh. Your crawl budget is optimized. You have a pristine destination. But a pristine destination in the middle of nowhere is still completely useless.
Nobody is showing up.
Right. You need to build the roads. This brings us to how businesses actively attract audiences and how a modern audit prevents them from just shouting into the void.
The engagement engines.
Social media and content marketing.
Yes. And, the most revealing part of a social media audit isn't looking at follower growth. It's identifying platform mismatch.
Platform mismatch.
Yeah. Ashrafi's guide explicitly warns that businesses must focus on platforms where their target audience actually spends time.
Which happens constantly because of trend chasing.
Oh, all the time.
A business owner reads a headline that some new short-form video platform is the future of commerce, so they divert half their marketing budget to it.
And they make all these videos.
Yeah. Meanwhile, their product is like high-ticket enterprise software sold to procurement officers who only communicate via email and LinkedIn.
It's painful to watch.
It's like trying to use a metal detector to find a wooden treasure chest. The tool is functioning flawlessly, the operator is doing everything right, but the mechanism is physically incapable of registering the material you were looking for.
That metal detector analogy is perfect because it highlights the mechanical failure of platform mismatch.
Right.
And an audit reveals this by looking at conversion rates per channel, not just impression share. The AdExpert process identifies which platforms are actually generating qualified leads and ruthlessly trims the excess.
Cut the dead weight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But where this process has evolved dramatically, and where the dossier really focuses, is the application of artificial intelligence.
AI, of course.
They're using AI for customer targeting, personalized campaigns, advanced analytics, and optimization tools.
Okay, I want to dig into the mechanism there because AI is the ultimate buzzword right now.
It's everywhere.
Every software company claims their product is powered by AI. How does AdExpert's use of AI actually shift an audit from a manual guessing game to an exact science? Like, what is the algorithm actually doing differently than a smart human marketer?
It comes down to multivariate processing and predictive behavioral segmentation.
Okay, English, please.
Right, sorry. In a traditional human-led A/B test, you create two versions of a landing page. Version A has a blue button, version B has a red button.
Classic testing.
Yeah. You run them sequentially, collect data for 3 weeks, and see which one performed marginally better. It is incredibly slow, and it treats your entire audience as a monolith.
Right. You assume that because the blue button won overall, every single user prefers the blue button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But an AI-powered optimization tool doesn't just test A versus B. It tests A through Z simultaneously across thousands of microsegments.
Thousands.
Yes. The AI is analyzing real-time behavioral data, like how long a specific user hovered over a pricing tier, what geographic location they're browsing from, whether they arrive via an Instagram ad or an organic search.
That's a lot of data.
It recognizes patterns at a speed humans simply cannot process. And it dynamically serves the personalized campaign most likely to convert that specific user in that exact micro moment.
So it shifts marketing from broad demographic assumptions, like men aged 35 to 50 in Encino, to predictive, hyper-individualized targeting.
It takes the manual trial and error completely out of the equation.
Wow.
The audit uses AI to process vast data sets of past user behavior, identifying hidden conversion pathways that a human analyst would never spot in a million years.
Which frees up the humans to do what they do best.
Right. This allows the agency to focus human energy on creative strategy and high-level messaging, while the machine handles the microscopic optimization of the customer journey.
That level of algorithmic prediction is staggering. But it also exposes a really fascinating contradiction in Ashrafi's guide.
Oh!
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about predictive AI, dynamic landing pages, real-time behavioral segmentation, and yet right next to these cutting-edge tactics, the guide lists email marketing as one of the most critical pillars of an audit.
Yes.
It demands rigorous checking of open rates, click rates, subscriber growth, and email design. I mean, email is ancient technology in internet years.
Yeah.
Why is a forward-thinking agency still treating it as the holy grail?
Because of the absolute fragility of rented audiences.
Rented audience.
When you build a massive following on a social platform, you do not own that audience. You are operating as a tenant on someone else's digital property.
Oh, that's so true.
A single algorithmic update, a change in corporate policy, or a shift in the platform's monetization strategy can instantly sever your connection to your customers.
Your reach can drop by 90% overnight.
And you have zero recourse.
You are totally at the mercy of the landlord.
Exactly. But first-party data, your email list, is an asset you completely control. It is a direct, unfiltered conduit to the customer.
Nobody can take it away from you.
Right. However, an email list only functions as a growth engine if it is meticulously maintained.
So you have to audit it.
Yes. The audit process looks at subscriber churn and click-through rates to gauge list health. If your open rates are plummeting, your domain reputation with email providers drops, and you end up in the spam folder.
And then it's useless.
Exactly. Email is the unsung hero of retention, but it requires constant optimization.
Which is where the final and arguably most important piece of the AdExpert framework comes into play.
Live tracking.
Yes, live tracking. So what does this all mean? You have AI finding the audience, semantic SEO pulling in organic traffic, and email retaining the customers. But if those systems are siloed...
You can't see the full board.
Right. The dossier outlines their live tracking and reporting infrastructure, which aggregates data from Google Analytics, Search Console, CRM software, and social platforms all into a single, unified view.
This is the mechanism that prevents budget bleed.
Because otherwise you're just looking at the past.
Without live tracking, an audit is just an autopsy.
An autopsy? Wow.
It tells you why the campaign died 3 months ago. But in digital marketing, a 3-month lag is catastrophic. A unified dashboard creates an instantaneous feedback loop.
The dossier specifically emphasizes optimizing campaigns on the fly to maximize return on investment.
Right. Let's trace the mechanics of that. Say you launch a new ad campaign on a Tuesday morning.
Okay.
By Tuesday afternoon, the live tracking shows that the ad is generating a massive amount of clicks, but the Google Analytics data shows that 90% of mobile users are bouncing off the landing page within 2 seconds.
Yikes.
Because you have a unified view, you immediately spot the anomaly. You check the page, realize a video element is causing a fatal load delay on mobile devices, and you fix it.
So you catch the leak the moment the pipe bursts.
Exactly.
Rather than waiting for an end-of-month report to tell you that you wasted thousands of dollars driving traffic to a broken page.
That is the ultimate goal of the comprehensive audit Sam Ashrafi outlines.
Yeah.
It is about establishing a state of continuous, data-driven optimization.
It's nonstop.
You establish your revenue-based goals, you eliminate the friction on your website, and secure your domain authority. You use AI to dynamically target your audience without wasting budget on the wrong platforms.
You secure your first-party data through email.
And you wire all of it into a live tracking dashboard so you can pivot in real time.
It is an incredibly rigorous framework, and really the relevance of this to anyone listening is universal.
Oh, without a doubt.
Whether you are running a localized brick-and-mortar service in Woodland Hills, scaling an e-commerce platform, or just trying to build a personal brand, the mechanics of visibility are the same.
You have to know your numbers.
Regularly auditing your digital footprint is the only viable defense against algorithmic shifts and wasted capital. You have to force the black box open.
You have to demand transparency from your data. But, mapping out this level of technical sophistication does leave us with a rather profound tension regarding the future of the industry.
The philosophical implications of AI optimization.
Yes, we are rapidly approaching a horizon where AI and live tracking can predict and optimize the exact customer journey down to the microsecond based entirely on past behavioral data.
It's almost sci-fi.
The algorithms are achieving a level of precision where they know exactly what emotional trigger to present and exactly when to present it to mathematically guarantee a conversion.
So they're taking the friction out of not just the website, but out of human decision-making itself.
Exactly. So the question becomes, At what point does digital marketing cease to be an exercise in human persuasion and storytelling and become an exercise in pure algorithmic inevitability?
Wow. And if the machine is dynamically altering the message to fit whatever the data predicts the user wants to see, how do you prevent the authentic core soul of the brand from being optimized out of existence?
That's the million-dollar question.
That is a fascinating tension to leave you with today. We finally built the tools to see exactly where our dollar goes in the vending machine, but now we have to make sure the machine isn't the one deciding what we actually wanted in the first place. Think about it.